Here we have one of those unpaired evidence questions. So this is not part of a pair. We have to just read this question and then find a piece of evidence, a line that basically says what it needs to say. So we treat these a lot like evidence questions. We want to stick closely to the lines, but they're a little easier than the pairs. The other thing, though, is now this is in the midst of a bunch of other questions that we've been doing. So I would say, okay, I've got some line references here. Some of them are kind of far away from the other line references, and so I might want to use the chronology rule to help me, right? So remember, the questions are supposed to be in the order in which the answers appear in the passage. So this is question 23. I've had some line references already. I have some to come. I might look at questions 22 and 24 and see what's going on so that I might be able to narrow my focus and think about some of these lines a little bit differently because of the rule. So question 22 talked about the lucky guppy in line 14, and then question 24 is about 43 to 44. So that tells me that question 23 in between is probably somewhere between 14 and 44. So with that in mind, lines 14 to 44, it's probably not going to be choices C or D, because those would break the chronology rule. So, okay, I still need to read them. That's why I didn't cross them out actually. I just mark them down in my head that, all right, these are not going to be my first guesses if I'm just guessing randomly. So I'm looking at A and B more closely, but I still need to read C and D. And let's make sure we understand what we're reading for here. Which choice provides the best evidence for the conclusion that the streams used by Resnick's team in their real-world study were not entirely free of predators? Okay, so that's a very specific thing we're looking for. We should know when we hit it based on the lines. So let's try line reference A, 14 to 16. Okay, that's right here. A. A lucky guppy is born above a waterfall or a set of rapids which keep out the predatory fish called pike cichlids found in calmer downstream waters. Okay, well that definitely talks about predators. So that part seems good. It talks about the streams, but not entirely free of predators. This is saying that it is free of them, right? It keeps out the predatory fish. So it's got a lot of the right ideas, but it's not hitting the main thing that we need to hit, is that there are still some predators in these streams. So it's wrong. It doesn't say what it's supposed to say. I would confidently cross that out because it says kind of the opposite. Okay, hopefully it's B, 16 to 20. Right here, down to here. As you might expect, the guppy mortality rate, that is the proportion of individuals that die, is much higher in the sites with the rapacious cichlids than in those without them. So, okay, again, it's talking about the predators, however you say that, cichlids. It's talking about the streams, I guess, because it's the different places, the sites. But again, it's saying without the predators. It's not saying with fewer predators. It's saying that there are places with no predators at all. So again, this doesn't quite fit what I'm supposed to hit, which is that there are some predators still in these areas. These two sentences, line reference A and line reference B, are making it seem like an absolute thing, that they either have predators or they have zero predators. And maybe I write that because look what just happened. I just got rid of the two choices that I thought were going to be most likely right based on the chronology rule. And if you've seen my other videos and you've heard me talk about this rule, you've heard we still need to read all these answer choices because sometimes they break the chronology rule. I don't know why, but it only works about 85% of the time. And so that other 15%, sometimes, they're going to mess with you and they're going to pick something different. Now, it's still a valuable rule. It gave us a place to start. But if the answer's in C or D here, then I'm going to pick it because I don't love A and B. Now, if C and D are bad, I might go back and be like, okay, I got to look at A and B more closely because maybe I'm missing something. But I don't think I'm missing anything. These seem wrong. So let's see what we got. 46 to 52. We're jumping here all the way out of order. It's a big piece here. Line reference C. This kind of real-world manipulation of nature is called experimental evolution, and it is growing increasingly popular among scientists working with organisms that reproduce quickly enough for humans to be able to see the outcome within our lifetimes. Well, that just feels random. They didn't mention the streams. They didn't mention predators. This is just completely like random. It's a kind of sciencey sounding line, but it doesn't answer the question. 57 to 59. So that's right here. D. Although small predatory killifish occurred in these new sites, these fish do not pose anything close to the danger of the cichlids. Okay. Perfect. I'm not even doubting it at all. I'm confidently going to break the chronology rule here because this says that there are these other predatory fish in the places where there are no cichlids. Right? So the lines we read here that we crossed out say lucky guppies have no predators, no cichlids, okay? Line reference D says, yeah, they still have no cichlids. But there are these other little things called killifish. I guess it's in the name, killifish, that they kill some of these guppies. But it's not as bad as the other predators, but yeah, there's still some there. It's not necessarily, not entirely free of predators. I'd be very confident that's the answer. And that's another reason why, if you're nervous about this chronology rule and you're nervous about the fact that it sometimes gets broken, that you really shouldn't be nervous, because when it does get broken, we're very often confidently breaking it. Right? I'm not uncertain here. I'm going to go back to using the chronology rule in the next question because I trust that it works most of the time. And that other 15% of the time, I break it confidently because I was able to find the answer in another place. So it's a great guide, and we can violate it because we're smarter than the rule. And if for some reason we were totally stuck and had to guess randomly, yeah, I'd probably have guessed A and B, and I would have been wrong, but that's a rare thing to happen. And so we trust these rules because most of the time they're going to get us most of the points, and we can't design our strategy around these little exceptions that happen here and there. You'll drive yourself crazy worrying about every exception. Get the majority of the points using the rules, and then adapt like we did just here when we have weirder situations. We can still get the points even when things get weird.